Hey guys, it's Alex. I'm back with another video. I actually just finished recording the S24 Ultra video. So if you haven't seen that one, go check it up in the corner in the card. But today in this one, we're going to be talking about why I switched back to the iPhone 15 Pro. I alluded to it in the S24 Ultra video, and so now we're going to talk about it. So why I switched back to the 15 Pro. The last video I had put out on the channel had talked about how I was going back and forth, and I finally landed on the 15 Pro Max, and that was my decision. Well, I undid that decision, and I'm going to explain why. Basically, I had the 15 Pro Max, and it was great. Never looked back, made the decision, was happy with it. Battery life was awesome. Everything was sweet. And then over a while, I'd say right around the 4 to 6 week mark, it became annoying, cumbersome. And I say that to mean like, okay, at first I was like, all right, battery life, worth it. Camera, worth it. Extra features, I'm paying for it. I might as well get it, worth it. The size is nice when I'm using two hands when there are certain things to be done, worth it, right? And then just life went on, time went on, working normal. We went on vacation, taking pictures with the kids, driving, and just all the phone in and out of the pocket all the time, using it, keeping up on work, that kind of stuff. And then just over time, the impressiveness of the battery, the impressiveness of the camera, all those like extra features began to kind of like wear off. And I was just using the phone. Like 90% of the time, I'm picking up my phone one-handed, sending a text message because I'm walking or doing something. And I'm like, okay, I just got to put it away and just check it. Or I'm like checking an email or something. Most of the time it's one-handed because I'm doing something else. I have kids. I have a lot going on. And so doing that on the Pro Max after a while became like, man, this is like cumbersome. I'm going to drop the thing. Like, I don't have the Pro Max in front of me, but like on the S24 Ultra, it's kind of the same deal where I'm like, I got to take an extra half a second or make sure I'm using two hands. Like, it's a little bit big. I don't find myself watching content on my phone that much. Occasionally reels, but like maybe 20 minutes a day and that's it. And so if I'm going to watch something, it's going to be on my iPad mini or on my Mac. Like, I don't need the big screen. Like, to me, in my brain, this is like companion device, life device, input, receive, like receive message, send message, phone calls, emails. Like, it's a tool, like a PDA, like companion device, camera, whatever. Yes. Not a consumption device. My iPad, my Mac, those are consumption devices in the appropriate times and places. And so I came to that realization. I was like, I was not draining or using that battery at all. And I still don't, even on the regular Pro, even though it's technically the worst of all of them. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm at 67% battery. And so I'm like, I just don't use the thing like that. Or I'll keep it on a charger if I have to charge it up. Or I drive a lot, so it's plugged in while I'm driving. Like, the battery was never an issue. And then even the camera, the 5X telephoto, okay, cool, but it wasn't all that off from the 3X. So I'm like, I'm not really giving anything up. And I did this test. I actually went to the store in low light, the worst performing light, took a picture at 5X with the one on display at Best Buy, took a picture at 3X, zoomed in and kind of like cropped them both digitally so they were the same image. You literally could not tell the difference. And there's such a minuscule difference between the 3X and the 5X, the digital telephoto. And so that's where I'm like, it just was not worth it. I wasn't using that. But what I was noticing was the hand gymnastics it was taking me every single day to pull that thing out. Because you pull it out, you adjust brightness, you check, you toggle ringer on and off. I do that at least. Focus modes on and off, texting people, top of the screen. And that's why I've actually moved a lot of my icons bottom to the bottom of the screen to keep from easy reach, because it's utilitarian that way. And so that's what I was not getting on the Pro Max. Is like, man, this thing's like fatiguing, and just using it one-handed was frustrating. And so eventually I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the Pro. Or I tried to, or I thought that I couldn't because I was over the 2-week return period I bought directly from Apple. And then I Googled it. I'm like, can I return it even though I'm out of the 2-week return period? And Reddit to the rescue. There was a guy and there was like, yeah, I contacted Apple, and you just call them up directly and explain and see what they can do. And so I called my local store here, got the manager. Shout out to John. I don't know if he'll ever watch this, but I remember his name, John, manager here. And I was just like, look, I bought the Pro Max from you like 6 weeks ago, like a month ago. And could I just exchange it for the Pro? Like, I know I'm out of my return period, but it's just too big. I'm not digging it. Can I just swap it out and exchange it. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. Like just bring your original receipt, bring the box, and just ask for me when you're at the store and we can do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Next day I went back, asked for him, receipt, box, everything. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll just swap it out. Which Pro do you want? They brought it out. We'll give you the refund. It was like $100 refund. I ended up upgrading again because I had the 256. Did I have the 256? Maybe I had the 512 Pro Max. And so I got the 512 Pro. So I have more storage than I need in this phone. Future proofed, right? For recording videos or whatever else. And got $100 back, swapped out the phone, and that's it. I have not looked back or thought twice about it since. And I know that this is the right decision. I think what kind of stemmed that entire series of videos and what brought that whole thing on was the fact that I even upgraded at all from the 14 Pro. Because I had the 14 Pro and it was a great phone. Like I had no qualms with it, no issues. 15 Pro comes out and it usually takes me about till December, January of like, that looks cool. Okay, I'll try it. I'll go for it. And so then I bought the thing and then I found like 14 Pro to 15 Pro, not much different, honestly speaking. And so I felt like I had that, what's new about it? There's like nothing exciting and new. How do I justify this $1,000 I just spent on a phone? And that's where I was like, okay, maybe I'll try the Pro Max. And then I didn't like that and felt like I couldn't go back to the Pro and it was back and forth. But after long enough on the Pro Max, I'm happy to be back here on the Pro. And yeah, it's just sweet. I love it. And even coupled with the Peak Design case, they did not sponsor this video. Nomad has sent me a few cases in the past on some videos, but Peak Design hasn't. And I'd love to work with them because I swear I bought like every single thing that they have. I love Peak Design. Went with the Sage case this year. They finally fixed the whole MagSafe thing. Again, this is not sponsored. Like this is just how much I love their cases. I have bought their cases every year since the 12 series. I had a 12 mini, 13 mini, 14 Pro, and so on. And every single year they make refinements and adjustments to their cases. So across all of these, when I had 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, 15 Pro, like back and forth, I'd always ordered a Peak Design case for it in the green this year because I just think it's nice. And it's just sweet. It adds a little bit of bulk to the phone, but like not much more than a regular case would. It's just nice. The buttons. I don't know if you can hear that. The buttons are just finally like, oh, perfection. They're actually like metal buttons, and I have a little nick in the side of it. Look at that. Must have dropped it at some point. Like they are just perfection. But you know what I'm trying to say. Wow, great job, Sony. That's probably actually the focus distance. Great job, Peak Design. Like this is a sweet case. I dig it. The magnets have gotten good. MagSafe has gotten good. Like it's finally strong and like, oh, I dig it. So this case has been awesome. Been rocking it with a screen protector from ESR, of course. And yeah, that's basically in a nutshell why I've gone back to the 15 Pro. I have not missed anything. Thought twice about the 15 Pro Max. Battery's been great. Cameras have been great. Storage at 512 has been great. Size is just refreshing. Came back to it and I was like, yeah, this is the right size. And I especially wanted to jump back to it because I had the thought of like, maybe I'll just stick out the 15 Pro Max and just wait and get the 16 Pro or something when it comes out, or even the SE4. Maybe I'll just do that, you know. But the rumors, if they're to be believed and if they're true, the 16 Pro, they're going to be getting a size increase. The phones will be getting bigger. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like the smaller form factor. And that I wish that they were bringing back the mini lineup in the SE. Missed opportunity there, Apple. Big missed opportunity. If you could bring back the 13 mini as the SE4, it'd sell like hotcakes, guaranteed. And so that's a big missed opportunity. I actually was going to go back to the 13 mini during all of this. Side tangent. I was going to go back to the 13 mini. I had bought one. I was using one for a few days and I was like, why am I getting nauseous using this phone, getting queasy? Like, this is weird. I haven't had this before. And it was only that phone. Like I would use it, scroll something and I would like get a headache, like vertigo. And so I like had to put the phone down and I Googled it. Sure enough, it's the PWM, pulse width modulation. And a lot of people actually have experienced this. I think Aaron Zolo even mentioned that he's experienced this in a few of his videos, that the way the screen actually, it's not the refresh rate, but it's just the powered on, like just the power state. Like everything flashes. These lights are flashing to stay on. They actually like, I don't know what the word is. They just pulse. They flash on and off so many times per second, but we can't see it. That's why you get flickering if you adjust your camera settings, or like especially the fluorescent tubing. Those are like really bad. That's why they give you headaches, because like your eyes can see it, but you can't. Basically the 13 series and even the 12 series a little bit. 13 series was notoriously bad for that. And you can see it by recording in slow-mo on the screen. And I'll put some B-roll up of that right now. That's how I discovered that. I'm like, my eyes, my brain can see that, but I physically, like, I can see it just barely, and it's enough to just like give me a headache. Like I'm just looking at strobe light. And so I'm like, I don't get that, because I use this phone for a long time. I just must have gotten used to the 120 hertz refresh or something, the different screen technology. And I can still test it. My wife still uses a 13 mini. And if I use her phone for much longer than like a minute, I'm like, I get sick looking at it, which is weird. And that was a big disappointment, because I was like, all right, done with the 15 Pro Max, done with the 15 Pro, this whole back and forth. I'm going back to 13 mini. I had bought it. I was using it. I was like, this is great. And then I experienced that, and I was like, well, shoot. I'm like, I'm not using this thing. Like that's a big deal. I'm not using my phone to get nauseous about it. So I'm like, okay, I gave it up. 13 mini's gone. The hope for that dream has sailed, and I'm happy with the 15 Pro. I think it's just the right size for me and my hands and my lifestyle. And I just think it's a great phone. All that to say, I'm back on 15 Pro. Let me know what phone you use. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what your favorite phone is, what you're currently using, and I will see you in the next one.